even me, like people in my videos are like, you've lost everything. And it's like, okay, I'm not like non-existent anymore. I'm just like not a bodybuilder anymore.
Derek is significantly downsized. I am not.
What's interesting is that creatine in the 1990s was thought of like steroids.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to be Derek's father, and it is in fact true that in the 1990s, many people thought creatine was like taking a steroid. Are you on that there creatine? It's like, yeah. Oh, that's a steroid. No, it's not. Mom, Dad, it's not a steroid. Derek, perhaps he's just agreeing with him. Perhaps he's read articles on this, but I was actually alive in real time during the 1990s.
Meanwhile, they had real steroids at GNC.
Oh, yeah, the irony too.
Yeah. I mean, they're like,
Kirk!
one tease over the counter.
Yeah.
Back in the day, selling Superdrol, for example, it's stronger than literally Anavar, and yet people are buying that over the counter. Oh, that's not a steroid. Yeah, it is. Or what about during those home runs being hit by Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds? It's androstenedione. Those are going to put on so much muscle. And so back in the day, various stores, people used to be able to get GHB and Superdrol saying, hey, this isn't a steroid. No, that's not a dangerous drug. These are just calm things for bodybuilding. It's not a big deal. Add to that, good old ephedrine, which I have in front of me right now. And so when I was younger in university and so on, when Derek was first born, we used to use a shit ton of ephedrine, stronger than last time. I remember they used to put it in fat burners, and suddenly ephedrine was banned. You couldn't add it to a fat burner anymore. And so what did the companies do? Well, they got rid of their number one ingredient and put something else in it and said 1,804% better. Muscle Tech. Love that ad. It was in the magazines. And so they got rid of the most important, best working ingredient, changed it, and the new formula was somehow 1,804% better because a study said so. Don't you love that? It makes no sense. But yet, to this day, people still don't understand how studies are bullshit. If a study says something works, it might work. If a study says something doesn't work, it might not work. We don't know if it's proof. It's just a study. They can almost say whatever you want.
Canada is like super tight on regulation when it comes to the most weird stuff. Like when it comes to caffeine, you can't even have a can with 200 milligrams. It has to be like 180 or lower.
I mean, it is ridiculous. Every country has different laws. For example, in Canada, we can puff up as much as we want. 5 years ago, we could not. It was illegal. 5 years ago, you were a drug-using delinquent if you smoked weed or did an edible. But now you're a normal human being. And so what's worse, alcohol or marijuana? Alcohol is far worse. It's not even close. And so why is alcohol legal? Sometimes they simply have rules, laws, regulations because it's just the norm. People would complain, we like our alcohol. Hey, why not get drunk every single weekend? It's no big deal. But yet, if you're on HRT, oh, heavens forbid, hell nah.
No, no, hell no.
If you're interested in HRT or in clomiphene, or perhaps things like Cialis, tadalafil, or things like GLP-1s. You've heard of Ozempic, stuff like that, terzipatide, things that will help you reduce the food noise to lose weight. Algo RX, you can click the link in the description and use code Greg for 10% off. Remember, these guys are in direct competition with Merrick Health. And so what I want you to do is I want you to go to Merrick Health first. Give them the first benefit of the doubt. Look up all of their prices, get a good idea for it. And then when you can't afford it, I then want you to go to AlgoRx. Remember, they both have doctors and people who used to work for Merrick Health, they own AlgoRx. And so they know what they're doing. And so if you want doctor prescribed medications with no gatekeeping, essentially knowing exactly what they're doing with cheaper prices, much cheaper prices, well, I know what I would do. And so unless you're as rich as Derek, perhaps he's making tens of millions of dollars each and every year. And so you don't need to worry about money. Perhaps you're a rich, wealthy man, you go wherever you want. But if you can't afford it, try to go to AlgoRx and see how much money you can save. And don't forget to use code Greg to save even more. Code Greg, 10% off.
So ephedrine, for whatever reason, was still over-the-counter available in GNCs up until like a handful of years ago.
Well, they reduced it to 8 milligram tablets because, my opinion, what is wrong with ephedrine? Well, people died. If you don't abuse this, you're not going to die. I mean, I'm sure there's perhaps 1 in a million, but there's 1 in a million going to die from anything. We allow people to sell peanut butter and peanuts, and I know there's people allergic to peanuts, but yet we still sell it. And so, yeah, if you're allergic to ephedrine, or if you have some serious allergies of some sort, your heart is very weak, whatever, it's probably bad. But if I want to use some ephedrine, I think I should be able to use some ephedrine. What do you think causes more deaths, ephedrine or wine? Do I even need to keep going on? And so, isn't it funny how some things are banned and some things are not banned? How other people dictate to us what we can or cannot use? Who are they to tell me what I can or cannot do with my body? What do you think is more dangerous or more healthy? Using 140 milligrams of testosterone a week prescribed by my doctor, or drinking wine? I rest my case.
I took Rip Fuel once for jiu-jitsu, right before jiu-jitsu, and I had to stop in the middle of the class. I was like, I got to sit down.
Yeah, I've taken Rip Fuel before. It wasn't that strong. Perhaps it is for Joe. Now imagine if Joe went and had 2 Grande, Venti, whatever bullshit Starbucks coffees. Remember Mepsigram? We did the day in the life swaparoo. Well, she's since then learnt the error of her ways, and she hardly consumes Starbucks at all. A Venti cold brew. She was drinking 2 for breakfast every morning. And I had a swap with her, and I'm like, what is going on? This is insane. And so now, last she got a Venti cold brew, she didn't even finish it. And so remember, guys, don't abuse caffeine, and the poison is in the dosing. There's some saying like that. How much you take is going to decide if it's good or not. And so don't take too much. Don't abuse it. Stay within reason, and you're probably going to be okay. Or maybe not, so consume nothing.
Now a lot of bodybuilders are pretty forthcoming because it's more normal to be transparent and also not mislead people and, unethically sell things.
It has come around full circle, however, as I do think at today's day and age, it's okay to come clean and to tell you what you are on. For example, I'm on 140 milligrams of test a week. I could lie, I could say I'm on nothing, but the problem now is people don't believe it when you say what you're on. I literally have been saying what I've been doing for years, and if you don't believe me, you don't believe me. Oh, just because I'm 50 and I'm on 140 milligrams? What if 140 milligrams for me works very, very well? Does it mean that because I'm on 140 milligrams that you are going to look the same as me? Of course not. I've told people in the past I have amazing genetics. They make fun of me. How can you have amazing genetics when you're 5'6"? Well, we all know I'm 6'5" when I'm sitting on my wallet, and so the height shaming, it doesn't actually work for me. I'm just trying to be honest. I have great genetics. It's not because I just work harder than everyone else. I was born lucky that when I train with weights, I got very, very strong very easily. Perhaps you will not. I have to work harder for other things. For example, cardio or memorizing freaking Spanish is hard. You'll see if on Duolingo, I'm in the top 1% of people that study the most amount of time, the most amount of effort. And on top of that, I have 3 to 5 hours of Spanish lessons each and every week.
I don't speak Spanish.
I work hard. Do I learn faster than other people? Absolutely not. But yet I continue to try. And so if you don't have the physique that you want, if you haven't lost as much weight as you want, maybe you just have to try harder. Have you thought of that? I should be able to speak fluent Spanish easily by now, but yet I can't. I have to keep trying. And so maybe you haven't lost all that weight, but you have to try more like Coach Greg. Eventually, if you keep putting your mind to it and try, you too can do it. And so don't give up. Keep on trying.
Back in the day, too, it was like you didn't know if you had good genetics or not when it came to certain dosage responses. So you would always think the next guy's just taking more than you.
Yes, today, the same things happen. People that take steroids and they don't grow as much as they thought, they think, oh, that guy's just doing 5 times those doses. He must be just taking more than me. He's probably also doing growth hormone, insulin. It must be IGF-1. They think it's something other than their genetics. Most of lifting weights, most of the improvements, it comes from your genetics. As long as you're training harder than last time, twisting your palm out and twisting to the side and doing a Jeff Nipa dropout dentista won't take you a picture workout, it's not going to work.
The consequences of lying and getting caught now are huge because if you lose all credibility and people know that you're just a bullshit artist,
Yeah, that too.
and then they'll never trust you again.
Yeah, I don't believe that's true. I think that people can lie, and I think they can say, hey, I'm sorry, I admit I made a mistake, and I think people will eventually forgive them. We have guys like The Rock. How many people think that he's 100% natural? Does it look like it's hurt his career? Is The Rock now a billionaire with a B? And so does lying really affect you that much? And what about every second other movie star? Almost all of them are lying about the drugs that they're taking. Oh, you played this guy, Thor, you were that muscle man, you put on 30 pounds in a matter of months? Really? While being natural, sure. Chicken, broccoli, and rice, 2 hours a day workouts, twice a day, and that's the secret.
All these guys who prep for roles, and they're talking about it now. Like, oh, I took Anavar, I took this, like Mickey Rourke did when he was talking about that movie, The Wrestler.
The amount of people that are admitting they're on steroids in Hollywood is literally the tip of the iceberg. And so for every one, there's approximately 10 underneath. It's roughly the same ratios as an iceberg. Tip of the iceberg, I think it's 10%, 90% underneath. Same in Hollywood in terms of admitting they're on performance-enhancing drugs.
Guy who's pretty good about that now is Frank Grillo.
Well, he's a good example because he was clean for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, he had, like, very low testosterone because he was just going on willpower.
He wasn't working out on willpower. He's working out on male hormones that his body was making. It's not willpower. He didn't have testosterone levels of a girl. He was a normal man. He was dieting. People can function with normal levels of testosterone. It's just the difference is with TRT combined with Anavar, of course he's going to look better.
He's good friends with Brian Callen. And, he got his testosterone taken. It was nothing. He had like zero.
It wasn't zero. It wasn't nothing. And frankly, do we really know if he possibly hadn't taken a SARM? Is it possible that he, before that, was taking Ostrine and it lowered his testosterone levels? I mean, just because he admitted to taking TRT and Anavar late 50s doesn't mean he didn't experiment with Ostrine before that.
Probably one of the few examples, actually, still to this day, though, of somebody being like really transparent.
Exactly. It's very rare. It's not like normal in 2025 for Hollywood actors to just be out with their cycles. Perhaps in 10 years from now, we'll see it. People say, yeah, I'm on HRT. Of course I am. It's normal. Remember Frank Grillo? They might say, hey, he's the one that started. Since then, more and more people will come clean. If The Rock were to come clean, I do believe other people would then come clean and it would become normalized. Hey, yeah, I'm an actor. Of course I'm on HRT. Everyone's doing it.
I actually saw The Rock talking about peptide use recently, which was kind of like a...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. The Rock is obsessed. Obsessed with being the largest man in the room, the biggest man, the movie star, the man that everyone wants to be like and women want to be with. And so you really think that after abusing steroids since most likely his late teens, he's going to suddenly be able to just say, no, I'm done with all of it? Of course not. And so he starts playing characters and says, I'm going to get in the shape of my life, bigger and badder than ever. And so when he plays Mark Kerr and gets close to 300 pounds and is literally bigger than Mark Kerr, a juiced up monster of a man, you really think that's healthy? And so The Rock, he didn't care. He couldn't stop. Since that time, since the filming of that role, he then had to stop taking steroids or at least go down to HRT. You can't blast forever. He then loses a lot of muscle. Of course he did. Think of how much he would have been taking to play that role. And so we've seen him now playing the role of the chicken man or something like that, a man whose best friend's a chicken, and so he's gotten significantly smaller. He talked about his circumflex artery. We've seen the problems that he had. And how much is he not telling us? I do believe that with The Rock's health, just like the iceberg example, what he's telling us is just the tip. He's not giving us the tip. He's showing us the tip of the iceberg of his problems. And so I would not be surprised that in several years from now, we understand the extent of The Rock's injuries, his health problems, and perhaps he doesn't make it to 60. You can only blast steroids for so long before it's going to eventually take you out.
I think maybe he's just like trying to take like a health phase and kind of like come down in weight for a bit, and he'll probably like crank it back up.
And so does it not make more sense that he's going to take on the role of an actor that has to lose a tremendous amount of muscle, has to get small, because then he has a plausible deniability. Hey guys, I didn't have health problems. I just want to be a very good actor, and I had to downsize for this role. It couldn't have been the circumflex artery, of which I've already discussed in previous videos, and so it gives him that excuse. And so I personally think The Rock, very unhealthy, had to lose weight for his health. And that's what's been going on.
And this is pure speculation. I haven't talked to him about this. I think based on what he tried to do with the Smashing Machine, I think he's trying to win an Oscar.
Just because you know someone, hey, I'm friends with him. I know he's natural because he would never, ever lie to me. Are you kidding me? I used to sell steroids. Used to sell them to husbands and wives, and their wives would know nothing about it. Had to keep the secrets because, hey, a coach doesn't out his client. And so I do find it kind of crazy that Vigorous Steve would be the coach of the Liver King and out him to Derek. To me, that's a little sus because, hey, isn't there a bro code here somewheres where you keep your honor, your word that you're not going to rat out your clients? And so if a client tells me something, there's no way I'm making a video and saying, oh, this guy's a fake natty because I coach them. And so if you are interested in being coached by Coach Greg, I don't care who you are. Remember, your secret is safe with me. And so if you're interested, click the link in the description and apply right now.
It's the best mixed martial arts movie ever. That's not saying a lot because they all suck. It's the most accurate in terms of historical matches.
I'm not going to deny that, but it's a carbon copy of the original. It's not a new movie. It's not different. They reenacted it, and The Rock did an amazing job. I did, in fact, watch it, and it's an incredible story because it's based on not the bones, but the truth. What actually happened in the real world. And so you can't script this shit. Well, I guess technically you could, but the fact that you know that this is true and the raw emotion behind it, it was an excellent movie.
Even me, like people in my videos are like, you've lost everything. And it's like, okay, I'm not like non-existent anymore. I'm just like not a bodybuilder anymore.
It's not that he's non-existent. It's just that compared to having muscle in the past, he doesn't have very much left. Now, is it possible that Derek's original Turk Plex was actually a Juga Turkistanica and that more recently he wasn't able to get the real Ajuga? Derek is significantly downsized. I am not. And by not downsized, I mean I'm bigger and have more muscle and my body fat percentage is lower. And again, 2 days I lift weights a week and I ride my bike 6 to 7 days a week. And I'm actually good at bike riding. And so when you refer to Coach Greg, say, Coach Greg, the bodybuilder, say, no, Coach Greg, the cyclist who works out with weights. I'm a jacked cyclist, not a bodybuilder who does cardio. Remember that. And so there you have it. Apparently, Derek, he forgot his password to YouTube. It happens to the best of us. And so he can't post videos anymore. And so he goes on famous other people's podcasts to share his message to the world. Essentially, that message is drink his neurotropics and that's it.
That's it.
Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Please like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And of course, we got the cookbooks in the news too. I hope you enjoyed the settings. You got the GO2 Max tree in the back. We got a tree over there. The stew looks a lot different. Also, HLT looking for sponsored athletes and ambassadors. And so if you're interested in that, click the link in the description and apply right now. And if you want to carry our products in stores, gyms, and so on, there's another link to click on it and apply for. And so until next time, I am out.